Sense is run by a bunch of investment bankers, and Morningstar modus can help make
Morningstar begint de serie interviews met managers van fondsen met een elite of superior rating. Dat u als belegger ook eens ziet wie het gezicht achter het fonds is. We trappen af met Angus van Lloyd Europese Deelnemingenfonds. Kenmerk van de Deelnemingenstrategie is dat dit fonds een belang neemt van minimaal 5% in Europese smallcaps. Daarbij worden ondernemingen geselecteerd op stabiliteit en dividendbeleid. The Lloyd Europese Deelnemingenfonds has large position in cyclical industries like technology, industrials. In which way do you think is it a threat for the returns of your fund?
Well, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily in technology, but certainly what we try to do is invest in strong companies with a strong franchise, close customer relationships. They've been adding value to their customers over many years. And we're not afraid of a cyclical industry per se, as long as it's a stable, solid franchise within that industry. So these are market leaders with 20 to 30% market share. And if the economy turns down, they're in fact more likely to gain market share at the expense of their weaker competitors with less strong balance sheets, less strong client stickiness. So for us, crisis generally creates opportunity to buy good companies when they're cheap.
Yeah, so that make your portfolio, let's say, possible crisis-proof.
Well, crisis-proof is a big word, but certainly we're very confident that what we've done over history in Holland with the Delta Deelnemingen funds and the European Deelnemingen funds, we've survived both the tech boom bust and the financial crisis and, well, whatever else is thrown at us, we can be confident in the future, we think.
You're investing with the Delta Deelnemingen funds in European small caps. And where in Europe do you find these little pearls of companies, which countries and sectors?
Well, we always maintain a sensible spread of countries and sectors. So we're not looking in any particular country, area or sector per se, but we have a screening process where we screen 7,000 European companies on size and dividend yield. And quite commonly, in fact, when we find these companies, these hidden gems, the first question the management asks us is, how did you find us? Well, that's part of the skill of what we do. We're looking for those gems where other people aren't looking.
Yeah, can you give an example of that?
Absolutely. I mean, every company, but one in Germany, Progress Work, it's a car component supplier, lorries and car components, safety, rigid metal-framed products for cars and lorries. It is based in Oberkirch, in the middle of the Black Forest, in the middle of nowhere, shall we say. It has a very traditional, conservative, dedicated, passionate management, German. I'm Scottish, coming from a Dutch insurance company. The first time I met them, I explained I wanted to take a 5% stake in their company. They thought I was a little bit crazy. But of course, the skill in what we do is we're genuinely interested in what they do, why they're special to their clients, why they're special to work for, why they have a sustainable competitive advantage. And it's that real-world nature of our participation or our Deelnemingen that makes these companies relaxed in what we try to do, build a long-term relationship with them, to find out the information we need so that we can value them properly in the long term.
Yeah. But you are not investing in emerging Europe. Can you tell us why?
We invest in companies with a long established track record of adding value to their clients over many years, at least one economic cycle of 5 to 8 years typically. Those companies with stable established franchises, cash flows, history of dividend payments are typically found in the more mature countries across Europe. We screen in Western Europe, for example, in Spain and Italy and France and Germany, but it's not always that we can find a company in every country, because that's not what our objective is.
Yeah, and can you give us some examples of sectors you do find in Asia and do not find in Europe?
Well, I think there's clearly a number of examples of industries that have moved. The locus of production has shifted in favor of Asia, where the supply base and the manufacturing companies with the strong market positions that we look for could be in certain areas of the technology market, stable areas of the technology market. And also, for example, there are areas like education. Private education is a much broader market, much more developed market with quoted companies in Asia that you just can't find in Europe. It's a bit like the opposite way around. When we first started this process, we began in Holland in 2000. Smith International was a Dutch company with a unique franchise. You couldn't find that in any other quoted stock market around the world. We're seeking those sort of companies in Europe and now in Asia, such as Smith in Holland.
And finally, what kind of role do you see for your fund in an investment portfolio?
Well, clearly there are diversification benefits for our clients if they invest in small cap Asian funds that are less correlated than other equity classes to the European indices. But for us, more importantly, is that, as I've said, by finding these hidden gems, these undervalued solid franchises in different segments in Asia than we can find in Europe, we can replicate the steady 10 to 12% return that we've historically achieved in Holland over the longer term, and the same risk return characteristics as we've also achieved in Europe. We can do that in Asia too.
Yeah, the Deelnemingenstrategie started in the Netherlands, went to Europe, now to Asia. And what's next? USA, Latin America?
Yes, Martin, good question. We are busy at the moment researching and backtesting and exploring the possibilities, potentially in both those areas. And we'll keep you informed.
Yeah, maybe we talk again soon. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Morningstar blijft enthousiast over dit fonds. We prijzen de lange termijnvisie van de beheerders en de intensieve manier waarop zij ondernemingen doorlichten. Een risico blijft wel de geconcentreerde portefeuille met beleggingen in kleine ondernemingen. Toch is dit fonds een uitstekende aanvullende speler in een gediversifieerde beleggingsportefeuille. Op Morningstar.nl staat een uitgebreid analistenrapport over de Lloyd Europese Deelnemingenfonds.
Morningstar's tools can help me